Mic check 1 2. A little bit hot there. How is everyone doing? Episode 146 of the Saturday Morning Stand Up starts now. Thanks for dropping by. And we're here to chat Splinterlands. What's been going on in game this week? A lot of my personal time this week has been taken up trying to get snow out of my yard and walkway and stuff like that. And we might be getting a little bit more up here Sunday, so we'll see. But I've been doing a little bit in Splinterlands, like I've said in the last... I guess this is just my standard now. Most of what I'm concentrating on in Splinterlands right now is the land game. So all the things that I've been doing has been associated with the land game. But I would be remiss if I didn't say that Splinterlands has been putting out a lot of updates and announcements this week, which we can kind of, use as a topic board to discuss. I'm checking this week because they put out so many announcements. I'm looking back at the Discord's announcement section, and we kind of can spin through that just kind of as a topic. But let's go ahead and say hi to everybody. Crypto Beaver is in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. They said, been playing a lot of Frontier mode lately. Still hoping to pull one of the 4 new cards. Nice. No luck thus far. Don Friggin' Knots is here. Wibble 5000 is here. Afternoon Splinter Thingies. Same back at you. Gathering is here. Says, good morning. Happy Saturday. Sold a lot of Phoenix Ash potions when they went live and used the DEC for land. Picked up a gold foil epic. To tell you the truth, that day that they went live, after I got home from work, I went and I checked, and this might have been a day or two later, but they were going for like a penny. I don't know what they're going for now. And I was going to rush to sell some, and I'm like, I don't know. I'll be definitely making some Phoenix Ash to use for myself, but I don't know if I'm going to go out of my way to make each one and sell them for a penny. But let me know in the comments if you've been making a profit you feel off of the Phoenix Ash so far. But looking back we'll just take a quick spin through the announcements. Let's see, I'm checking the calendar here. 26th was Monday. So, we'll start with the 26th. We had a lot going on with Splinter Vibes this last week. Splinter Vibes was announced. They've talked about it and put it together, but they're moving forward with that. The 7th Conclave Arcana Conflict is incoming, and of course, who was it? Somebody put out a video. One of the YouTube creators put out a video looking at the Han V card. I think that might have been After Sound. That will be the next one up on the block as far as conflict cards. I did not get a conflict. I did not get a drop off the other last conflict. And I'm just letting my current... I haven't gotten a drop in the last 3 draws, so I'm just letting it ride. What it'll get me, it'll get me. I'm not concentrating on putting any more into conflicts at this point. I feel that from my point of view, the first 3 or 4 conflicts is where I actually stand a chance at getting a conflict airdrop, and after that, it's just kind of good luck if you'll have it, even though I have a decent amount staked. And then they announced boss monsters are incoming. I'm really looking forward to the whole boss monster thing, so we'll be keeping up on that. And Dave announced, I'm thinking about making this as a regular part of this stream, doing a look back and a kind of an update on what's been happening over the last week. So Dave had announced that you will be able to swap your ranked SPS earnings for double their glint. That should be interesting because we're in a situation now. You used to have just like tons and tons of glint piling up and you didn't have much to use for them. It's the exact opposite now. You have too many things to do with glint. So some people could, if you're in that situation, you may decide, hey, I'd rather have more glint than the SPS. That's not me. Don't take me as saying that. I'd rather have more SPS all day long, any day. Stake that SPS, baby. Put it in the bank. But I can see where you would want to have more glint these days because there's so much to do with it. Anyway, that is either coming or has already created toggle switch. I don't know if is the switch live in game yet. Wobble's here. OFG is here. Gathering says, market watch later today since I'm going to be busy tomorrow for my birthday. Well, happy early birthday. Another year older, another year wiser, right? Hopefully. Going out to eat with my family. Well, have a good dinner. I am going out to the hardware store to try and find some more magnesium something or other. It's the dog-friendly snow melt you put down and a bucket to put it in. Because we are almost out. That's what I'm doing today. But happy birthday to you. Robert's here. Robert says, I wish I had thought of selling Phoenix Ash. I just assumed they would be worthless without survival mode. Oh, no. The main thing I'm looking at Phoenix Ash. We'll jump back to the news here in a minute. But let's go ahead and go over to the game. Wrong game. Let's click to Splinterlands. Let's go to the market and look at other items and look what Phoenix Ash is going for. Last time I looked at it a day or two ago, it was like 1 penny a piece. There was an exciting announcement about time crystals as well. Time crystals is, let's see here. What is capacity flux? I saw this and I don't know what it's for though. But here's a Phoenix Ash. It's not even a penny anymore. It's 7/10 of a penny. So I love the whole idea of land, but I'm going to be frank with you right here. Hi, I'm Frank. No, dad joke. All this stuff that's been created to make off of land, I cannot compete with because these people with huge amounts of production power just dwarf me. And I have like 28 plots now. I think 24 of them are up and running. Just everybody just dwarfs me in production power. So I'm just not even going to worry about it. I'm actually thinking about taking my land and just producing stuff with it instead of let me restate that. I'm thinking about taking off the aura. So I have a rare work site, which happens to be magic as well, that is producing aura. And I have a common one that's producing aura. And you know what? I haven't used the aura for much of anything. I might make some Phoenix Ash potions just for my personal use. But due to the high amount of competition and the low prices amount that you're going to earn off of those, I'm thinking about just switching off my aura and going back to producing whatever the plots produce and just start selling. And with the announcement, I know this is going to be a hot take, and I know there'll be people stepping on my toes in the comments. Go for it. I've got a thick skin. I'm from the 70s. So, but my hot take is that in the land game, with the expansion coming 2.0 down the road, whenever it hits later on this year or whenever he gets it in order, there'll be new buildings and everything like that. But there's always going to be the need for the people at the bottom just producing resources, okay? And my take is that it's becoming super complicated, And one of the things that drives me away from games is the complexity, right? So I've come to the conclusion that, hey, maybe I'm that guy that just sits at the bottom, makes grain, makes wood, makes iron and whatever, and just sells it into the market. And I'm happy with that. So let me know in the comments what you think of that. But it's kind of also, we kind of broached on this topic on the on the members only live stream last night on what's kind of turning me away from the modern game in Splinterlands is the complexity. But it's all on a personal take, you know. So, but anyway, that is what I'm thinking about. Still super into the land game, but I'm just coming to the conclusion that maybe I'm that guy at the bottom just growing grain. Or maybe, you know, down the road when they get the stuff put into the game where you can rent out your plots, or you know what's been talked about in the past, you know, where you might need to have storage, or you might be able to rent out your plots to somebody else. Maybe I'm that guy. I don't know. Still looking for deals all over although the deals have largely dried up. If you've checked out if you keep your eye on Peak Monsters, you know, look at this. You know, mostly what I'm looking for is grain, but you know, if you go to plots with grain work sites on them and resources, you know, what we were buying for 12 or 13 bucks a few weeks ago is now going for $29.50. You know, so the deals are far and few in between because people are realizing what I was talking about 2 years ago. Both Gathering and I were talking about on our videos. You look back in my videos 2 years ago, and we were talking about the need for the grain and equalizing your production across your land and have enough grain. And then other people in the chat were poo-pooing me. Oh, you're talking too much about that. You shouldn't worry about being self-sufficient. Well, guess what? People are finally catching on that you need those grain plots. And look, the grain plots are more than doubled. I mean, Gathering can tell in chat because he keeps the numbers. They've more than doubled in the last few weeks. So, little rant to get my blood flowing. Have a little drink of coffee here. Went out to fire up my snowblower because I had a problem with it last week. I had cleared that big snow, which was more than 2 hours of snow blowing, and then the drive wheels stopped. So I'm like, oh, great. Something, you know, either a belt busted or a friction plate or something like that. And then went out to try it out. Sure enough, it's working again. So I don't know. Maybe it froze. I don't know. But my whole damn garage door was frozen shut. So I had to use a metal shovel because the plastic snow shovels weren't working to chip it loose. But I'm back up and running in case we get some snow tomorrow. Supreme Victory Studios is in the house. I know I'm running behind. Gatherings says, finally a sunny day. Very sunny here. And it's blinding when you go out because there's about a foot of snow on the ground. Still cold. Yeah, it stayed around 16, about 16 Fahrenheit was our average this week. What's that in Celsius for those outside of the States? Had to do a Google conversion. So for those outside of the States, it's about -8 Celsius around here this week. So it's been a nice week. It's been nice and sunny and blinding, but it's been cold. Beaker's here. Welcome, Beaker. OFG says, we got snow flurries, nothing to write home about. It's about 24 Fahrenheit here. Emmy Wanty says, it will take 20 minutes to go through the big post. Yeah, I'm not going to go through every single thing, but it's good to start off with some things to talk about, right? Lady Sharon is here. Welcome, Sharon. She says, good morning. Hope you're not too cold today. I understand it is either will be getting pretty darn cold again. I expect everybody to be talking about the post. Yeah, I mean, I used to do individual episodes of all the news coming out of Splinterlands, but to be frank, I put hours and hours into the episodes and they don't get very many watches. So I try to wait until there's like something big that I can do like a multi-topic episode, you know, and then put that out. Or, you know, what I'm really looking for is what we call as YouTubers evergreen content where I'm talking about something, you know, teaching how to play or something. And what I'm really looking forward to is being able to do a episode when Land 2.0 comes out, because a lot of my other Land episodes are just old at this point, and most of the information is still correct. But as we know, the markets, so anything you see related to market information, prices and stuff, that changes on a daily basis, an hourly basis, right? So, but I'm trying to produce more evergreen content. It just doesn't get a whole lot of views. So Paul TRX is in the house. Welcome, Paul. Emmy says, make sure people are aware that you can buy these event skins for DEC if you want as well. 1/10 the glint cost, 2,500 glint or 250 DEC. Nice. Gathering says the SPS burn for getting double glint is huge. We need a daily SPS burn in game, and not making any DEC from it is key. Yeah, I mean, I think the team has, we've talked about this before, the team has largely figured out how to make a good card game, right? But one of the biggest jobs on their plate is actually balancing out the crypto side of it, right? And that's the hardest part to me. But they started it. I mean, it's more than 7 years ago now, so it's evolved pretty good, and it's up and running. And we're even supporting people that have come from other games that have been turned off on the blockchain games, right? So through the support, so. Gathering says, okay, I already talked about that. Don Friggin Knott says, Gathering the Magic is turning 30 tomorrow. Nice. It says, I remember 30. Yeah, I don't even remember 30. 30, my early 30s, I was working 2 jobs, and we just had I'm forgetting. 99. So my daughter was born whenever I was 29. So my early 30s, my daughter was very young. So, if you have kids, those first few years are a blur, right? But it's all good in the neighborhood. Gathering says, love being able to make time crystals with Cinder. Yeah, that's what I had wanted to mention, because I had seen that in one of the notes. So we'll take a look at a few more of these. There's just so much going on in the game. A lot of these times, people get used to these days games that don't do a whole lot of announcements. And there's another game that I play frequently where there's not a whole lot of announcements, and I get used to the team here in Splinterlands being very communicative and discussing things back and forth with people and taking votes and being really on top of advertising what they're doing and talking about what they're doing. And then you go to other games and they're like saying nothing, and then you're like, where's the communication? There's a communication breakdown. Love that song. Led Zeppelin, I believe. Let's see here. Amarandell is almost here. 5 days. New ranked season. Let's see here. Oh, something, I guess that's related. I didn't see that. It's related to Valentine's Day, I guess. And then the update, new Legendary Archon, we kind of mentioned that. Hand V, Splinter Vibes, music updates. Haven't really got into, somebody give me a good reason to get into Splinter Vibes. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. Aftersound thought it was interesting. Obviously, he's very into music and everything. But when you get these music things, these little pieces of AI-produced music that are linked to cards, what are you going to do with them? What do you do with them? Do you put them in your playlist and let them play once in a while? I'm trying to find a way to get excited over them, but I think it's cool and interesting. I just don't know why I would want to get into that. Back into chat. Let's see here. A bunch of people giving Gathering the Magic some birthday wishes. Lady Sharon says, and I suppose you can't actually make Phoenix Ash without aura. No, that's one of the needed requirements if we go into land and then production. And actually, that's wrong. What we wanted to go is in the artisan quarter. And then if you go to Phoenix Ash, you actually need to, if you don't have time crystals, you have to buy time crystals. And you have to, you have to produce aura, right? So you can see that I have some aura produced, and I do have a few time crystals. But if I wanted to go ahead and produce some Phoenix Ash, then I would have to go buy some more time crystals, which when you're figuring the cost of these out, I don't know. I haven't done the numbers. Gathering, have you done the numbers on how much each Phoenix Ash costs you to produce and then turn around to sell for 1 cent or 0.7 of a cent? The reason I ask is because some of these things I've done the numbers for, and it's just not worth it for me. I'd rather turn around and just buy them off of the people that are undercutting each other. That's my point. So cool thing to have in the game. I agree we need it, especially it cuts down on land whenever I go. And the main thing I'm looking at them for is whenever I go and swap characters on land, it'll reduce the time that I have to wait for them to actually, come back and be usable. But yes, Sharon, you do have to have aura and you do have to have time crystals to produce these. OFG asks, how's everyone's end of season going? Any good pulls? Anyone got a Splinter vibes? I didn't. We could go ahead and let's buy it. Let's go into rewards. Oh, they got the new skins up. But yeah, that's one of the other things they had talked about. Anybody buying the skins? They did Oradum Greybow again. We talked about this the other day when they had talked about it. I might buy some of these. Look, they've got different art now. They've got the Valentine's art. I've been one of these people that really like the whole seasonal changes in games and little seasonal events. That's why I really like the idea. I know it's extra artwork, effort, and stuff like that, and there's a lot of effort on the back end, but I think it's very good for a game because, like, even back when I was playing World of Warcraft or whatever, I loved the different seasonal events, that came into the game. It just added something that was different, and it adds something, you can use your glint on, and it's just nice, even though that's just it's the same chest, it's just different artwork. It's got maybe some different seasonal things in it. How much? Okay, so I've got 1.25 million glint to go. I might buy some of these. Let's go ahead and buy. Let's buy 3 ultimate chests and see what I get. Cross your fingers for me. Common times 5, 1,300 merits, and it's pounding. Hey, another Shadowcomb Dusk Rose. I think I got one of her last week. Not too shabby. Let's go to, I guess she's under extra. Yeah. Extra, read all about it. Hey, that's enough to go to level 2. Nice. Let's go and level her up to level 2. What does she pick up? Oh, she picks up a health. Does she get good at high level? She's a common, so she can't get too good, right? Although I would argue there's some commons that are really good. So I think we've done this before, but level 4, she picks up Rust. Level 7, she picks up Fury. And level 10, she picks up Ambush. But by the time she maxes out, she's got 6 damage. Very slow, though, so I would say she fits into a reverse speed type match. But what do I know? Okay, let's jump back into chat. Wibble says, I can only craft fortune tickets and wagon kits and make any profit. Gathering says you can make the Phoenix potions and wait for the price to go up. Stock up now when buildings go live and maintenance goes live. People will want those potions. Yeah, it'll be interesting what they can actually be used for in the future. Not investment advice. I am not an investment advisor. Please do your own homework. I need to make that very clear for the YouTube algorithm. Lady Sharon says, though what Bronze Dragon is saying, maybe it's best I can't. Well, the thing is a lot of these things in game can be used to try and make a little money. You have to pay. It's kind of like buying and trading penny stocks or whatever. You have to be very close and watch the market all the time to buy and buy low, sell high. That kind of idea, right? I never played the game like that because I don't have that much time in my day to sit here and say, for instance, buy 1,000 Phoenix Ash potions when they hit point 0.005 and then resell them when they get back up to a cent to make double my money. I don't have that time to make a couple dollars, right? Some people do. Some people are sitting here and they are in various countries around the world where this is serious money to them on a daily basis, like other play to earn games. Like, we also talk about Atlas Earth and things like that. Robert says, I got an unusually high number of Rilla Fens this season and finally maxed her. I've noticed that over the years in Splinterlands. There will be, it's almost like certain weeks they go in and play with the numbers on the back end, and you will see people opening chests and opening packs and whatever, and then everybody will happen to get like this one card and get several copies of it. And then the next week, it'll be a different card. It's like they go into the numbers and change it. And that's been something I've thought about off and on over the years a lot. Because I'll do a video, then Magic will do a video, then somebody else will do a video. And we all got the same cards out of our chests or packs or something like that. So this isn't a conspiracy theory. This is just a theory that they changed the numbers on certain cards, which... maybe there's adjustable rate going on in the background as far as if there's one card that has not been given out very much and the rate gets to a certain amount, maybe the percentage chance of that going into a chest or something or other gets higher. So then people get those cards and then the rate of that card goes down to where it's, in line with everything else. If that's, easy to understand as mud, right? So Gathering says, I pulled a gold rare reward card with my newest account. Happy with that. That's nice. Don says, I decided to get out of land after the new resources came out. I was like, this is too much, like real life, not fun. Yeah, it is getting very much, to me, it's just getting a lot more complicated. And to be real, in the white paper, they did kind of lay this out that there'll be buildings and all this stuff, but I didn't think it was going to get to this point. And also, to be real, all this stuff that we're able to make right now wasn't in the white paper. They weren't in the white paper. As far as I know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in the white paper, all they talk about is spells and cards being produced by land. Now, I like the fact that there's a lot more stuff that integrates with the card game that can be made with the land to give you a reason to play land. I love that idea. And I'm not saying hardcore like, oh, it needs to go by the white paper, because the white paper is malleable, right? It hasn't been updated in quite a while as far as I know. And things change, things change in life, right? But at a certain point, just like with the card game, you've got to say, well, are we getting too complicated, right? Because I know I may be a small portion of, I may kind of be a part of a small portion of the game, but when things get overly complicated, I'm out, So that's why I have my bot playing in wild, and that's why I'm concentrating on grain or concentrating on land. And that's also why I've come to the conclusion that it may be just me at the bottom end. I may be one of those people that just maybe I just have land and rent out my land so you can store your grain in silos or whatever that ends up being. Maybe I just grow grain and sell it on the market. Maybe that's me. The interesting part, or the cool part about this land game is the fact that there are many different ways that you can fit into the land game, quote unquote, right? So I have that right and I have that choice if I want to do that. To me, and I've said this before, every different version of land that has come out has offered new things that can be done and new incentives to actually participate, but has also increasingly cost a lot more. So each version, to build a building, it might, if you don't have building in a box, it might cost you an extra $10 and you have to wait a certain amount of time or whatever. So each of these lands just increasingly gets more and more and more expensive. So that's one of the things I'm thinking about as well. Let's see here. Wibble says, I like clicking thingies. Okay, that sounds a little bit like some personal information there. Lady Sharon says, just as long as they don't make it so that I can't produce, I'm fine. No, you should be able to produce. The thing is, you should be able to pick what you want to do with your land, right? I'm still afraid that this whole building thing will end up costing money and then I won't even be able to produce grain. No, you'll be able to produce grain. It's just you will have to decide whether you want to go further than that. Kind of like what I've been talking about in my situation. I have a lot more plots than you. I might just stay there and do that, and make the decision that I don't want to be more complicated than that. And I think that's fine because the people that do choose to go above us, choose to get more complicated with the game than us. They'll need what we're producing, so we can sell to them and get whatever our profit is and be fine with it. And then they can take what we're producing and make something out of it, something else out of it, and that's fine to me. It's just coming to the conclusion that if you are on land, you don't have to go further in the game than just producing, right? In fact, you don't even have to go do anything with your land. You can go into land from the perspective of buying a piece of land and then reselling it when there's a profit. In fact, there's plenty of my land right now. Several. Let's go in once again. Not resell, not investment advice, but let's go into 133 and go on to list view. There's several of these. Oh, it would be better off if I was in production view, just to make a point. So I have 4 plots there. If I sold these 4 plots, at least the 2 grain plots, I would probably make more than double what I paid, or I would double my money on them. So my point there is, if you just want to be a real estate agent and buy and sell land, you should be able to do that too. And not even go any further into the game than buying and selling land. It's kind of like buying and reselling cards, right? It's like stock trading, basically, So the land game is evolving, and it's getting more complicated. But remember, you can choose where you want to exist within the ecosystem. You don't have to keep going. They put all the new stuff out. You don't have to do that, right? If you don't want to, you can just stay back and say, yeah, I'm just going to make grain and sell it on the market. That's fine. OFG says, I need to do at least 8K more research. I've got to get a permit for my Aura plot on my own. I only got Aura from my keep currently. That goes back to my statement. I'm thinking about turning off Aura, but I figured it would be good for something in the future. So, but a lot of this stuff we were producing is just there are other people in the game producing so much more of it than me that it would be better off for me to just keep my Aura and just buy off of them, right? We're only talking pennies here, especially for the potions. Lady Sharon says, oh, and surprise, my cell phone didn't change grain to green like it normally. Oh. I'm trying to jump forward in chat. I get to this point where I'm trying to hit what everybody says in chat, and then I get way behind. So that is a problem. I'm not a pro streamer. Lady Sharon says maybe a good time to mention that I'm getting back into streaming again. I streamed last night on Twitch. I may stream tonight. I have to think about my timing. Well, good luck. Yeah, when I woke up this morning, I saw that you had streamed last night because frankly, you had started streaming after I went to bed. I love it though. I love it. I wish you good luck, and if you have any questions, just let me know. Ping me in Discord. But I love the fact that we have a lot more people streaming Splinterlands these days. Back in the day, back before maybe last year, it was me. It was Gathering doing his episodes. It was After Sound. And it was Dwayne. I don't see a whole lot out of Dwayne, but Dwayne's got a lot of life things going on. Clove once in a while. But now we've got so many people doing episodes and doing live streams. I love it. Obviously, this is good for the game. Basically, what we're doing is advertising for the game. When I do my episodes, I try to be real and I try to present, stuff that's good about the game and also stuff I don't like. I like to be kind of a balanced opinion or a balanced view of it. And, early on, and I'm not afraid to say when I don't like things. And sometimes maybe people on the team don't like that part, but hey, I'm just being real. I'm not paid by the team. I'm not part of the team. I'm just a guy out here on YouTube existing off of, mainly what people who are members and support the channel. Oh, big thank you. Since you weren't there last night, Gathering the Magic is the first bronze, Gathering the Magic and Blind Mage of the North are the first bronze star members of the channel, which means that this time last year I came out with the memberships and they've been supporting me every month since. So a full year, and that's why you see the bronze star next to his name. So congratulations, or thank you. Thank you to Gathering for supporting the channel all along. I greatly appreciate it. Sharon goes on to say, but I definitely will be streaming Monday evening. I wouldn't mind some company and get some advice on how to set up the second land plot. I think the problem with me hitting your streams is I've seen that you're out west here in the States. I think you're in Colorado, but you're streaming when I've already went to bed. But if you have any questions, just shoot me a text in Discord. Robert Fowler says you might want to stream a little earlier, Sharon. I think it's just because she's out west, a much different time zone than I'm here on the East Coast. Emmy says, agreed on Splinter Vibes, not a must-have, but something added, I guess. If you win one, you can maybe sell it to buy. Somebody still tell me a good use for a Splinter Vibe. I'm not saying they're not cool. Don't get me wrong. I love cool stuff added to the game, technology, everything. Hey, Arbin's here. Welcome, Arbin. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you're having a good day. Just happened to see you pop up in chat. Yeah, I think new stuff is cool. Stuff added for various purposes. Just give me a good purpose and a good use for a Splinter Vibe, because I'd like to talk about it. OFG says, how many days do you guys normally wait before you turn your wild bots on? I do one day. I let the season start, and after the first day, I turn it back on. Bolts is here. Welcome, Bolts. Thanks for dropping by. Robert says he never turns his wild bot off. What I found, since everybody's reset a level or two at the beginning of the season. Thank you, Armin. Thanks for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Arbin's a big supporter of the channel. The super chats and the memberships basically help me get along these days, because YouTube is changing the algorithm with the AI to greatly reduce what we earn off of playing, but or off of doing videos. I'm going back to see what we're talking about. Oh, yeah. What I was talking about was what I found was the first day of the season, everybody is backtracking. In other words, making it back to the level that they usually are. So I find that the first day of the season, I get beat a lot. In other words, my usual kind of 50-50 win average, I don't keep exact numbers, is more like 30% wins, 70% losses. So I found that I just leave it off for that first day, and after that, I click it back on. And I do 1 times per hour. And then at about 1 week into the season, so about halfway through the season, then I'll click it up to two times per hour, just to make sure all my energy is continually used. Hey, Don Knotts, join the Dragonfly. Thank you. I appreciate it. I have 2 levels, and the Dragonflight's top level. It's $4.99 a month, but it's a great support, and it enables all my members have access to the different emojis I made up. But at Dragonflight, you also get to see my videos early. So usually I post them for members directly after I get them done, which is like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, because it takes several hours to make, and then they go live noon for the next person, or then everybody else, right? So I greatly appreciate it. Let's see here. Oh, if Jesus, smash that melee button. Smash that like button. Like and subscribe. Become a member if you would like to support the channel. Let's go back. OFG says, I just can't wait to see what kinds of pulls my keep is going to keep once buildings arrive. Definitely let us know. Do a little episode or something, talk about it, how your keep's going, because I don't have any keeps. That is just like I didn't even wish for them. The expense on keeps are just so great that I never even thought that I would get one, so I'm just going to market to see. Well, I guess it would be easier over on Peak Monsters. Let's clear this and then go to, I guess they would be legendaries. So wait a minute, are keeps epic? No, keeps are legendary. So the cheapest, I'm just trying to see if this is a keep or a castle. I'm guessing due to price, these are keeps, because the castles would be mythic. Yeah. No, here we go. Keeps are in mythic. So a keep, the cheapest keep is $1,200. And the cheapest castle is $6,000. So yeah, those are way outside of my price range. Sharon had replied, I'll try, but I'm on mountain time and 8 p.m. isn't that late for me. I wanted to start earlier, but was doing some needed things. Yep, it's called life. But yeah, Sharon, seriously, when you're going to, I would get a set day and time that you want to stream, and then just kind of make up some little slides that has a little bit of artwork, and announce your thing, what day and time you're going to be, and then just put them in the Discord in the proper sections, so people will know when you're streaming. Give people early advance notice so they can plan on coming by. The problem I see with people that just stream off the cuff is people frankly just don't know that they're streaming, so a lot of people, especially that attend my weekly stream here, they know, this is episode 146. We've been doing this almost 3 years now. People know they can come to my stream at 11:30 Eastern time on Saturday. I'll be here, unless I'm sick, right? Or out shoveling snow. Uh, Lucky Dwarf says, I think it's a bit odd that at the moment it's cheaper to buy each resource besides grain. Kind of negates the idea of land, in my opinion. Yeah, but at the same time, it's the market will market, right? And there can be great swings just depending upon what they put into the game. Swings in prices for the different materials. Enigma Code is here. Welcome. Emmy says, I get that issue for later times US because we lose all European viewers, basically. Yeah, I mean, but it's good to have people that will stream in different time zones, right? Sharon, you just need to go out and recruit some more people from the Mountain Time Zone to play the game. That's what you need to do. Use your referral code, or what do they call it? Ambassador code. So I've got 122 referrals so far, 18 spell books bought. Doing pretty good. Just trying to help out the game, do my part. Oh, you know what I wanted to look at? See where I was in the leaderboard. I'm number 4. Hey, look at that. I bypassed Brave Tofu by a little bit. So I'm number 4 on the leaderboard for referrals. But who's for spell books? Brave Tofu is number 1. I think he was doing something where he was buying spell books for people or giving them some cards or something or other. He was doing some cool stuff on X. He's very, him and Gold Matters are very active on X. I advertise my stuff on X, but that's about all I do because, frankly, I can't stay on X anymore because as I scroll through X, I feel myself getting dumber. In fact, I'm really thinking about getting off of X. But Splinterlands has really went into their advertisement on X, so that's why I'm still there. Credits earned. Brave Tofu has earned a bunch. I'm in 8th. DEC earned. Brave Tofu is the only one earning DEC off of it. Wow. 369,000 DEC earned, and Glint earned. I'm 9th. I earn a little bit. So thank you everybody who's using my has used my referral code. You know what I wanted to check on was where I stand with my Splinter Trader account. So if you've been following me, what I did was I put some, so Splinter Trader, if you're not familiar with it, is you can basically put DEC in and it buys and sells cards. It's a bot. And then on a daily basis, you get a portion, like my share is 1% of whatever the profit is. And the ROI is 15% or whatever. And I get a little bit of extra DEC off of that every day. When I hit 500,000 DEC, I'm just going to start withdrawing all the profits after that. Okay. And that's going to go directly back into my land to beef up my land. So that's my not investment advice. I keep saying that for the YouTube algorithm because I don't want to get flagged. But yeah, I'm keeping track of that. I've got a graph. I know this is kind of a little bit boring, but trying to pull up my graph. Okay, so I'm at 496,000. This is a graph, and I started, I should probably do a video on this, but I started on the 27th. So it's just been a little bit more than a year. And I started with a little bit. You can actually look at the graph here. And each stair step is basically when I've added a little bit of DEC. So I haven't added a lot of DEC lately. But it's just steadily climbing. And you'll notice this inflection point was August. Starting August, that's when the big announcement for the card burning and stuff that went on in the fall was announced. So there was a lot of cards bought and sold during that time period. So you'll notice that it started going up there. So I'm pretty happy. It's not a ton of money. It's not a ton of DEC, but it's enough. And it's going to be one of those faucets where once I hit 500,000, whether it's an extra 1,000 DEC or 2,000 DEC a week or whatever it turns out to be, will just go back into my land to help me beef up my land. So thought that was interesting to talk about. Okay. Dehota says, Splinter vibes, not everything in the game needs to have utility beyond it being something that adds fun to the game and can add to the experience. Okay, well, that's valid. But to me, as a player, if I'm going to spend money like SPS or DEC on it, or my hard-earned glint, it has to do something for me. Although one could argue that currently spending glint on, your avatar, that's all superficial. The exemplar will be playable in the future, so there's a reason behind, putting your glint into the exemplar. But yeah, I was basically putting that out there to see if there's any uses for Splinter vibes other than just playing them. Gathering says the days of $700 to $800 keeps may be over. Looks like it. Everything looks like it's going up as far as land goes. Deoda says Tails made a comment the other day on Aftersound's stream. I don't think people are ready for the end of Conclave Arcana. We're going to see a run for these packs. Yeah, I mean, that's the way they set up. They set them up so that basically your draw rates for especially the legendaries would be better towards the end. And, it's trying to give people an incentive to buy those card packs. And, face it, compared to other previous generations of card packs, sets, there's just many fewer cards out there for Conclave Arcana. So just to hit the highlights here, we have the Valentine's event starts February 1st. Time Crystals and Cinder. I think Gathering mentioned this earlier. Time crystals can now be crafted using cinder in the artisan quarter. 135 cinder per crystal. So basically, you're burning cards to create time crystals. Phoenix Ash, new craftable item. We talked about that. 4 aura and 0.02 time crystals. Reduces unstaking cooldown for non-Rooney workers up to full removal with enough ash. Has anybody worked out how much ash, how many potions it takes to do a full, like say I took a card off of my land and I want to turn around and put it on another land, how many potions that would take? And also, is there a difference in the potion usage depending upon, does the potion usage go up depending upon production power? So is it the same amount of potions to refresh a max level common, as it is a max level legendary? It's also tradable. We were talking about that. Gameplay and general updates. Some rule set tweaks. Credit system. The new service fees on PayPal and crypto and bonus program for purchase greater than 100,000 credits. Okay, so you will get a bonus or less fees, I guess, if you buy over $100. They mentioned that with the fee discussion last week. Escalation is coming. Battlefield is changing. Was talking about pre-sale begins February 10th. General sale begins February 24th. 2 new promo cards. And what are sparkle potions? I missed the whole thing. Let's go to Peak D. We talked about the set. I did an episode on it, I believe. Here are the promo cards. Doldrus. Oh, I like Tortisans. I don't like that head on the guy, though. But I like him because he's got like I guess it looks like a a long beard and a Fu Manchu mustache like an old kung fu flick. I like that. And hey, look there, it's Portioneer. Cool. I like the tortoise better. Not even looking at the powers, right? Just looking at the art. Let's see here. I might have to get me a Doldrus. I don't know. Probably too expensive for me. I'm looking for where the sparkle potions are. There's a raffle. New abilities. We were talking about that. Oh, check this out. If you want to check out the new cards, they were dropping a lot in eye candy. Blaze has been doing overtime, dropping all these cards. We all, if you were a streamer, you had a card to drop information on. I did a short episode last week on that. But in the eye candy section, all this new info and pictures and details. They used to just give us pictures. Now they're giving us full details. So check that out. It's in the eye candy section. I happened to notice that he was dropping. When did he drop those? Oh, it was, must have been yesterday. Either way, check that out if you want to. A lot of new powers going out with the new card set. Talking about the different foil variations. Wagon crafting and repair costs iterated. The different drawings. Here we go. Sparkle potions. Sparkle potions are craftable on land for a cost of 100 aura. Players may choose whether or not to use potions to increase their number of foil draw entries. Each potion grants one additional foil draw entry. The maximum number of potions a player may use is limited to the number of conflict chances allocated to each specific foil draw element. So this is super complicated for me already. For example, if the player allocates 100 conflict chances to a black foil draw, they may use up to 100 midnight potions to gain 100 additional foil draws. Okay, so if you're going in the draw, then the sparkle potions is a way to increase your chance of getting a better foil. Once again, very complicated. So if you're into that and you're going to do the pre-sale, I would say go over here and look at the Peak D article and read through the article for the details and read through it several times because a lot of this stuff is super complicated. So, yeah. Okay, let's jump back into chat and see what people are saying. Gathering says now is the time to stock up on alchemy and legendary packs. The odds of black foils and arcade canes are going way up. Yeah, and that's the way they designed it. I like the way they designed the release of this set, right? Is basically to incentivize people to buy the packs up towards the end instead of having them burn off, right? So good stuff. I think it's working how they had designed it. Of course, you'd have to look at the team and ask Matt if it worked out the way they wanted it to work out. Obviously, the answer is we need to sell as many card packs as possible because that's the way they, as a company, make their money. They do make money off of the DAO as a secondary, kind of like a third party. You know, the DAO pays the team to make the new sets, the way that works. But a lot of the money that they make is off of selling brand new packs, right? So, and that's how any card game works, you know. So, and that's why the games continue to get more and more and more complicated because they have to come out with new cards, with new powers, and everything just spreads out. So if you like it, if you dig it, it's cool. But that's why I'm still in Wild. Gathering says, I have no referrals, need to get my link out there. Everyone that watches my videos is already a player. Yeah, but you never know. People are interested in Splinterlands. They do a little bit of YouTube search. A lot of the people that come to my channel are, they come off of YouTube search, right? And check out your channel for information. Robert says, I would put more DEC in Splinter Trader, but it won't let me go above 100K DEC. Interesting. I don't know why it won't let you go over. I don't know. Bolt says spreadsheet is being a while. Yeah, I like to keep track of things. I'm not really a numbers cruncher, but I like to see where they're standing. Dehota says, I've been buying alchemy packs slowly for about 8 to 850 each for the past few months. I'm up to 77 now. My original goal was 100 before the sellout of Conclave Arcana. Well, good luck. He says they say that I may up it to 200. Yeah, that's the type of packs that I was buying previously before I started just putting my money into land. Gathering says people will start pulling a lot of the Yaba card when the packs sell out. And we're at the bottom of the hour. Dehota says, I'm getting decent conflict points for having them. Imagine the person who pulls a 1 of 1 black foil arcane Yaba card. Wow. That would be pretty big. That'd be funny if he pulled it. That'd be funny if Matt pulled that one. Gathering says, think it is about 1,200 Orons. Okay, so either way, we're at the bottom of the hour. I want to thank you for stopping by episode 146 of the Saturday Morning Stand-Up. This has been Bronze Dragon. I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy. Once again, a big happy birthday goes out to Gathering. Another year older, another year wiser. So thanks for dropping by. I hope everybody has a great week. And as always, I'll see you in Splinterlands.